What's up, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about all of the marketing from this week in Marathon, an awesome Destroyer cinematic, and potentially the return of artifacts, which we haven't seen for many years. What's up, everyone? I'm Skarrow9. Welcome to episode 3 of Escape Will Make Me Pod. Joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Ryan and Jake. How are you guys doing?
Hello. Doing
Hello.
well.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Excited.
Was there any housekeeping? Make sure you guys leave 5-star reviews on Apple and Spotify and that one platform that guy likes.
Yeah, Pocket Casts.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he showed up in the comments last time. He's here.
Let's go!
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get a sponsor for this one, but I did receive this letter was nailed to my door. And it says, skin, give me your skin. I want their skin. Take my skin. All hail the skin. And it's got the Arachne symbol on it. So, I don't really know what that means, but I figured I should show it off because it's relevant.
That's a sponsorship. We take those.
Yeah, that seems sweet.
And I guess he likes my skin routine, so that's cool. Or she. So
Staying
yeah,
moisturized and Arachne. Charter's noticing.
yeah. That's been definitely my favorite development in the Marathon community is how quickly everything, the Discord, Twitter, the Reddit, has just completely descended into Arachne chaos. It is completely engulfed all of the other factions. It's just not even close. It's like
People are ready to join a cult. Cults are in.
Yeah,
Cults are cool.
They're real in right now for some reason.
it's the new shiny toy of the Marathon universe, and everyone's just like blood, skin, Arachne. It's just like,
I mean, it's taken over like the discourse, like the meme discourse on like Twitter and stuff too. I see people talking all the time about like peaceful arc raiders versus Marathon being like join a death cult, and the major cultural differences between those two games is going to be a fun exploration for people over the next 7 months.
Definitely the quietest week that we've had since we started the podcast. But there's still some interesting things to talk about. We got the amazing cinematic for Destroyer, which I guess we can go ahead and start with. Or really, like, let's take a look at like the overall marketing strategy, because they're dropping like multiple things a week now, right? Like we're getting like shorts every day, pretty much, whether it's like clips from the playtest or like this week they dropped like the Destroyer cinematic, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They also started like teasing the build crafting of Destroyer a little bit. We got the hour-long video today. What do you guys expect to happen going forward? Like, is there any? Surely this keeps ramping up, right? What do you guys, or not? Or do you think they just keep it consistent until launch, or what do you guys think?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that we're going to get like another one of, I mean, I can't imagine we don't get one of these for each of the main shells. And that would take us basically one of those a week until launch. So
you don't think we get one for
that's,
Rook?
I mean, no.
Poor Rook.
Oh,
I wish.
My
I
boy
wish,
Rook.
but I don't think we get one for Rook. I don't think we get one for Rook. Well, we don't have, I don't think we have the weeks for it, do we? Like, I don't think we have the literal time.
They can double up. Whatever.
No. Wait, Rook could be the Avenger style cameo where he comes in and he goes, "Oh, is anyone here? Hello?
Yeah.
Is anyone left?" He just gets like a 3-second bump at the end.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, maybe we see a Rook cameos in getting decimated in like an assassin one would be fun, but
that would be
no,
pretty
I don't
cool,
think Rook
yeah.
is going to get his own. But I think like what it means though is if we take what we talked about like the first week, which is that we're almost definitely going to get another one of those like developer insight things based on the naming of it and the specificity of the last one. It means there is going to be at least 1 week, potentially more, where we get a cinematic for one of these shells and a developer insight and potentially a state of play as well.
Yeah,
you could get all of those in the same week at some point. So like it's definitely going to ramp up, but I think there's still going to be like hills and valleys. I mean, no valleys, hills and like slightly less impactful hills.
Hills and mountains. You know,
sure, that's a better way to do it. Yeah, there will be mountainous weeks and there'll be hilly weeks. It was a hilly week this week. Maybe it'll be mountainous week next week.
Yeah. Jake, do you agree? Do you think we don't get a Rook one, or do you? I'm on the Rookopium train.
I don't know. I feel like Rook is like this proto runner shell. Does he deserve a whole cinematic? I would love to see it, but I don't know if we actually get it. I do like what they've been doing with the playtest clips. I know a lot of the people who like spend a lot of time with playtests have been featured in there. Shout out Taco Timber and Chromia. They're awesome. They've been in a few of those little clips. But I think it'll be really cool to see, obviously, with the state of play stuff, kind of what they show there. But also from the the access weekend, whatever they're going to do, to get all the clips from there. I'm sure it'll be another burst, and I imagine there might be a time once we're getting in the last 2 weeks or so where they're putting out quite a bit of stuff every day. But yeah, I mean, the cinematics for all the runners is going to be great. I would like, maybe Alberto Mialgo's working on something behind the scenes. Who knows? That'd be cool to see again. Obviously, I feel like that was the biggest thing from last April. So a big beefy cinematic, or maybe just combining all the cinematics, maybe make one thing or something could be cool. But we'll see.
That would be cool if they all like piece together. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that would be sick.
It's been pretty cool. What order do we do this in? Yeah, let's just say that. Let's just talk about the Destroyer cinematic, and then we can talk about it. But it's been cool to see like how all of the different media forms that they are using to advertise the game, right? Like there's all sorts of stuff. We have these little vignettes, and I just love the different response to all of them. They've all been positive, but people are really liking different things. Like it was kind of like the 2 frames of this one that people really clung on to, like the sort of evil reflection frame people are loving, and then of course when the first rocket hits the shield, and it's like just a sick frame. And so really well choreographed and executed by that team. Who was it? You had the name here, I think.
Jeremy Hanna.
Okay.
Yeah, he's worked on a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah.
Dune, Blade Runner, I think, Ghost in the Shell, Avatar sequel. Oh my gosh. And they're like, dude, this is another thing. Like, they're just going all out for all of this. Like, they're getting people who excel at their craft, and they're just like, I'm sure they paid a ton of money for these, and it's cool to see,
Game development's expensive. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, this is sick, and then you look at it and you're like, this is also. I really hope things go well. Every tick of the box that is like another super expensive thing that they shelled out for is another degree of success. That ideally someone holding a binder with a lot of numbers in it is going to be looking towards. So, I mean, not to be a bummer, like, I mean, we have things look good, like in terms of sales wise, and we'll talk about that after the cinematic, I'm sure. But like, it definitely is a thing that strikes me every time I see like a big name attached to something. I'm like, shit, that's cool. That's really great. I'm really glad they're getting that around there, and also being like, I wonder how much that cost. It's worth it in my opinion. I think it'll be worth it, but like, it's easy to say that when you're the one enjoying the art. What I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's really powerful, like this sort of thing, right? Because it not only shows how beautiful and bright the Marathon universe is, but I think it's doing a lot of important work as well in showing that Marathon has like a ton of story in depth, and it's doing it in very subtle ways. And then it's also like, I think these sorts of vignettes are going to be very important on really selling the remainder of people on the shell runner idea, right? And it's like, if they, I think the more they buy into like, oh, this guy's cool, the less they care about it being a hero shooter or whatever, right? And I think like these shorts, is what, like 30 seconds long, maybe. Pretty short. Destroyer watching a rocket, world building. What's up with the rockets? What's going on there? Turning around, dark tunnel, artifact. The hell's going on there? And then beating some stuff up. So,
I want to hear Jake talk about the artifact for forever.
Artifact?
Wait. You think it's a? Hold on, I'm kind of questioning myself. In the beginning, you think it's a rocket? You don't think it's an exfil?
Like an exfil beacon.
It's an extraction beacon, right?
Oh, is it? I thought it was like a rocket.
It looks like an exfil beacon.
That's why. See, that's why I think they might be connected. I think that's why they might be connected, because like, are we seeing the exfil, and then in one of the other character cinematics, we're gonna get the them at the exfil, right? Maybe Locust in the distance or something.
That's sick.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking it was a rocket.
I watched this. Oh, it is an exfil beacon. I thought it was
the exfil.
Yeah, there's
not
an
the exfil,
angle.
Hold on, I lost Skarrow.
Oh, you lost me? You can't hear me? Oh, I muted myself.
there you
Sorry
go.
about that. There's an angle where he's like
Yeah, that
looking at the sky and it's like breaching the atmosphere, and I thought that was a rocket. But yes, upon
Gotcha.
upon rewatch, I am dumb, and that is clearly an exfil beacon and not a chemtrail left by a rocket. So
You have that arachne
26
mind.
living, just you see chemtrails everywhere you go.
Yeah, I was just like, well, someone's going to the marathon ship. Who is that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. All right, artifact time. So this is interesting for people that don't know. The artifact was a pretty major. It was kind of like the focal point of the original vidoc that was released in 2023. And it was kind of that was how the current, or that the previous team was kind of selling you on the idea of Marathon. It was like this lost world, and you would collect these artifacts, and they were rare items, and you could eventually put them together, and it would like help unlock maps or whatever. And that's sort of an idea the community really latched onto. Was the sorry, NDA check. Was the artifact in the alpha at all?
We did not see anything that I can.
It was not in the April alpha. No.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware.
Am I allowed? In a previous version of the playtest, which I've talked about before, there may have been a use for it, and it was dumb. It was just like an expensive item. So that got removed and changed in the alpha. Obviously, we don't know what happened since, but it was just I think they weren't happy with it. And talking with them at the time, I was like, what is this? And they didn't seem happy with it. So the fact that it's showing up again makes me think, okay, they finally found a way to make this work in a cool way, which I'm excited about, because the mystery side of the game is what I think is the most exciting. It's what people immediately bought into last time. And when I say this was like in the original version when I played back in October, when I experienced cryo for the first time,
not last October.
No, sorry. I keep forgetting it's 2026 now. Yeah, October of 2024, the first time I played Marathon, there was an item called an artifact in that build, and no one was happy with how it was handled. And then the next time we played, it was not in the game anymore. So, we didn't see it. So they took that feedback, and now it's appearing again. And so hopefully something cool has been done with it.
I went back and watched a good chunk of that old vidoc the other day
How did you do that? It's not on the internet anymore, Ryan.
Oh, I don't know. I found it up. I found it. I found it. But I was watching Jake's great video on the Destroyer upload, or the Destroyer cinematic, and so I went back and watched it. And the whole thing basically was, I think it was Steve. It was either Steve Cotton or Scott Taylor talking about it. It was one of them talking about one of the Forsaken guys talking about the basically getting prime artifacts, and the idea that you would want to push your run further than because you see an artifact over in the distance and have to go engage in a team fight or something. So it's a very different version of the game that clearly had these in it, and so it's very curious. I mean, obviously it's a very different version. You said you've seen it, and then you hadn't seen it in a long time. So it is very intriguing knowing that version of the game was under different direction.
I mean, so much has changed from we know from Lupo and a couple other people that talked about it after the reveal that they were trying persistent worlds at one point. Clearly they weren't happy with it, so they went away from that. There used to be an oxygen system. They clearly didn't like that, so they moved away from it. And so it's a lot of things have changed. So I'm curious. But I never really got to play any of those, so I don't really know how any of that would have felt personally. So
Yeah.
What do we think
What
the artifact
are they,
is?
Jake? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
What's up?
you. Same.
What's up?
Jake, please help.
What do we think the artifact is?
Yeah.
Well, I think the key thing is we don't know. But
He said
like
key.
in
He
terms
thinks
of
it's a key.
in
It's a
terms
key.
of things,
What's it a key to, Jake? What's it open?
in terms of things that excite me, I would love if it was like ancient Yarrow technology. These are some ancient alien entities in the Marathon universe. Maybe some working Cacendor shenanigans, possibly
Mhm.
related to the anomaly. It could also be cool, like if it was something that the Four had brought there that not something that they explored. Like in the original games, they talk about all the technology that the Yarrow had, which, like I said, super advanced ancient alien race that kind of had a big hand in forming the universe as we know it, seemingly involved with the Spit, and obviously they were enslaved by the Four. So it could be interesting if, like, the Trizine, the weapon that they use to make a sun go nova, is powered by these, anomalous energy sources, the artifacts, or something like that. The only other time that I know of that artifacts have been mentioned in any capacity related to Marathon is Jason Jones had done an interview after the release of Pathways into Darkness, maybe potentially like a prequel game to Marathon. I think most would consider it that way, in the sense that Yarrow and Working Cacendor are in there. And in that interview, so this is probably 93 or 94 or something, before the release of Marathon 1, he had said, like, exactly, is that he wanted people to question what happened to the artifacts that Sergeant, I'm drawing a blank on his name, the player character from Pathways into Darkness, took out of the pyramid that they were in, where he had to go underneath the pyramid and blow up a sleeping working Cacendor god. But they wanted players to question what happened to those artifacts that he took from the pyramid in between the end of Pathways and the start of Marathon. So in terms of like really going back to deep cut kind of stuff, that's the only reference we have to it. And there, the artifacts are kind of these trinkets that gave the players like abilities and stuff, like free stuff, fire stuff, maybe. That's inside of Pathways into Darkness,
Hmm.
though. I don't know if they're going to go that
Yeah.
direct with it, but it could be cool. Maybe, yeah, maybe they change your gameplay or your abilities or something, or give you an extra alien ability. I don't know, but it's really
That'd be
wide
cool.
open at this point. And like you guys are talking about, I do think, not to yap too much, but I do think that the difference between the game now and when they had that trailer is like following this very consistent through line of trying to be on the cutting edge of the extraction genre. Like if you go back to 2023 when they're unveiling it, this persistent world things like Cycle Frontier was really exploring that. Even the idea of like working together to upgrade an artifact, that sounds a lot like Hunt to me. You know what I mean? Like where you're following clues and then you get to a boss. So I think that may have been an exploration of different ideas. So who knows like what it looks like in this current
Yeah.
iteration of the game.
Yeah, it feels like they're doing as much to stand apart as possible now, right? Like
Yeah.
really pushing on the build crafting, pushing on the mystery, pushing on the deep lore, which is,
Mm.
pretty unique for this sort of game. So,
With that in mind, I'm not to like just continually put you on the spot with lore stuff all the time, Jake, but like I know you mentioned a little bit like fun alien abilities and things, but I'm curious, like when you think about your background with knowing all of this stuff and this encyclopedic about it, like what in your mind is like if you could think of what is an ideal way that these artifacts impact the game, like what would you like to
Mm.
see? Like is it because there's a reality where it's just a quest item, you know what I mean? And I think like that's fine and
Yeah.
that's, but like is that really when you think about what you know about all of these things and like what you think about it, like is that what you would want it to be, is like a quest item that just shows up and hangs out on your loading screen now? Or
I'd want it to transform the map personally in some way, like activate some piece
To
of
yeah,
give
I'm in a
technology
similar
access to
boat as you.
something.
in it. Yeah, it
Or
would.
maybe
Yeah, like
alter the
a
anomaly or
bunker.
something.
Yeah, that too. Like
Mm.
the anomaly shifts shape or opens up a little bit, and there's like a secret bunker under there that you didn't have access to
Oh yeah,
before. Something like that. I want it to
maybe you
feel
can only
like
get through the anomaly if you have the artifact
Oh, that could be
on
cool.
you,
Use it
like
as like a you can create your own lane kind of thing. Kind of
yeah,
pull
well,
your
like
team through.
you could
oh
pull through, but also maybe there's like stuff in like you said, there's like there could be you could combine all these ideas together
Hmm.
to create a
yeah
reality where there's like a bunker under this anomaly that you need to get into for some sweet loot, but also like that would, since that would very significantly change your ability to move around Dire Marsh if you have it.
yeah. I find the artifact very interesting because its aesthetic is very it's a very stark contrast to the rest of the world, right? Like most of Marathon's very rounded corners and stuff. Artifacts like cube, straight 90 degrees, and then it's very there's actually not a ton of like super neon holographic stuff in Marathon, which is weird for a game that is as bright as it is, but immediately stands out in a shot, which is cool. So yeah, I hope they do something. I have to imagine it ties into cryo in some way, like, right? Like that's like, maybe not, I don't know, but
we're finding it seems like they're planet side, right? Seems like they're SETI side in the cinematic, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm curious how something like that seems like it would be more native to Tau Ceti, or at least like locked in Tau Ceti, how that would interact with something that was built like the Marathon ship itself way before anyone even got here. Like, how does that interaction work? Like, I'm sure they could figure it out and it would be fascinating, but it's an interesting, like, it's going to be really, really cool, maybe, hopefully, to see how it opens up a lot of interesting possibilities.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I think the other thing that people will go back to from a story perspective, which I had sent to Skarrow, this will be the biggest fumble ever. The TauCeti.world was the map website that they released, last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago.
I'm looking at it right now. I keep it open all the time.
Right, you're ready to go. You're already running on Tau-Ceti, moving.
No, it just looks
around.
Cool. I just think it looks cool. Nice. I have it open while we're talking to look at it sometimes.
So in the original Marathon, one of like the Easter eggs was outside of every map. They had like a little message in Marathon 1, and on Never Burn Money, that was like, the first message. That was a little Easter egg outside the map, and it said, "Yarrow, we're at Tau Ceti." So to think that potentially maybe that's why Tau Ceti 4 was chosen as a colonization site, because humanity at some point, maybe in Pathways into Dark, Bill Clinton sitting in the Pentagon maybe became aware of the Yarrow and set this secret, 800, 700 year journey for mankind to go colonize Tau Ceti 4, because they knew, okay, we know the Yarrow over here too. What kind of goods can we pick up and snatch? Which is what the 4 are doing as well. So
yeah,
maybe that's
I would be very surprised, and we might have talked about this a little bit last week, but that website surely will turn into some part of a larger ARG. I just find it hard to believe they would put that much time and effort designing something that's just like something you look at for 5 seconds to find a contract code for Discord, right?
And they gotta hide a message outside the maps. If they don't, missed opportunity. And there's not one there now. I confirm there's not one currently there.
Is that like a huge deep cut, or is that like a pretty well-known thing from the OG Marathon community?
I think everyone, the OG Marathon community probably knows. The Marathon story page has a cool page with all of the messages on it. But and visually, they look so same. Even like the colors that they went with. It's like, okay, they did the updated map colors, So it's a cool presentation.
Yeah.
But come on now. You got to give us our secret map message.
I like the idea, and I hope I'm so excited. I mean, we're getting closer and closer. We're what, 4.5 weeks away now? 5 weeks? 5 weeks on the day. So excited for that.
That we're recording this, not that people will be seeing it, but yeah.
Oh yeah, good point. But yeah, I mean, I'm just so, give me secrets. What are they gonna do? I'm so excited. The other piece of marketing that we got this week, what I thought was so cool, was a little audio log short, which kind of described a UESC. What is that fair to say? UESC like guard.
Yeah, it was like a colony. I think it was from the colony era. So it was a colonist. So you could say, I mean, I guess if the Navy puts your great grandparents on a spaceship 300 years prior, and then are you born into the UESC kind of? I guess you are, right? You're kind of you're a Bob. You're a Bob. But
that guy probably was a Bob, right? Or I guess he could have been in cryo, but but yeah, really just super, like, if you haven't seen it, go listen to it. Very, very cool, where he's approached by some entity, very horror influenced, where it's sort of like repeating what he's saying to it. And then it's heavily implied that he got like He got skinned at the end. So Jake, not that I know you don't have we don't ask you a lot of lore questions, so I think this is a good opportunity to do so. Yeah, is the anomaly haunted? What's going on here?
Listen, the final frame of the anomaly is the same frame that we got in the last the trail that we talked about, I believe, on the last episode. And it's like this digitized image or dithered image of this person walking towards the horizon. My thinking with the anomaly, just based off like the alpha priority contract, was let us know that it's kind of, it has a will, like it's making decisions that make it seem like sapient or something in some capacity, and it affects AI and it affects people. And the organisms on Tau Ceti 4 that are affected by the contagion, which is related to the appearance of the anomaly, are like evolving super fast. So I think what's happening is that walking into the horizon, that individual is representative of whatever happens when your consciousness or personhood merges with the anomaly. And maybe it's just because I've been watching, I don't know if you guys have seen Pluribus. I'm watching Pluribus. I think it's a hive mind situation. I think they're entering, and we got that picture, from the PS5 controllers on sale. This is topical as well.
Yeah.
In the background, some of the graffiti is this face, and the face is like this, but there's another face coming out the back end. I think people are getting ripped apart, getting mashed together. And I think they're trying to, he's mimicking back to him as he approaches, like, come here. It's like sounding kind of creepier version. I think they're saying, hey, come join us. Let's all be one big happy family. This is a higher state of being.
Jake, how familiar are you with the lore of the Witness from Destiny?
Oh, I'm not familiar enough, but I do know that like Gardner Winnower stuff, very, very tied to like some of the Infinity poetry and stuff.
The Witness is essentially an entire civilization that merged their collective consciousnesses together to become a godlike entity.
Well,
similar to what you might be describing here with the anomaly. Well, so
maybe the 9 are pulling that motherfucker into here. And he's showing up instead of a smoke head. He's fucking an anomaly, and he's all warbly now.
It's just kind of impressive that you put together a very Bungie thing in like from 2 trailers, and you don't have a lot of Destiny experience, so that's kind of impressive. And Bungie does like to kind of reuse ideas like that and kind of build upon ideas, right? So
absolutely.
So is there? What is there a hive mind in OG Marathon? So you have like the flood, and then you have there's actually the Vex and the Witness in Destiny. Is there an existing hive mind in Marathon?
I don't know I wouldn't say hive mind exactly. The fungal 4 concept is what became the flood in Halo, so maybe like that would have been like a good crossover. The Sphit are like part computer, part biological type creatures, or they were bolstered by the Yarrow, but I wouldn't call it like directly a hive mind though.
Okay, so every game needs one. It's the anomaly.
Yeah, true. I've heard you mention it like more than one time, with like in reference to the 9 and their kind of like meta aspects of their lore. Sincerely, how much are you anticipating? Are you anticipating a possibility that like there will be a sincere Destiny crossover somewhere in Marathon, like in the lore itself, like any kind of confirmation of that, or is that through the 9? Like you mentioned it in a video recently that I was watching of yours, and I was like curious how sincere you are that that's actually going to show up somewhere.
I don't think like my concept of the Bungieverse is basically that like Skarrow was just saying, I think they have a lot of themes and ideas. I think they've been in love from the beginning with this idea of light versus dark. And like, how does this very simple thing spiral into the complexity of existence? And I think they've explored a lot of themes between like the eternal hero and like identifying the self as like, a force in the universe, and kind of looking at the player or the guardian or the master chief as, this real force in the universe. But I kind of feel like generally they tend to stray away from like these very direct things. But I do think maybe like you guys haven't played a lot more Destiny, might have a better grip in terms of where they're at in this moment. Because I do know like they brought the Mida Mini tool, which had like a very direct reference of a guy saying, I'm the last Mida member on Mars. Bernard Strauss just left in the marathon, basically, right? Like, so that's a very direct callback. Now, is that weapon from like a different timeline than what we're seeing, or alternate reality? Is it a cute nod to stuff they've done in the past and a carryover of themes that are still relevant in Destiny? I don't know exactly. Like, I do think there's like in my head, just like as a complete crazy person, I do think there's a possibility that like way down the road, why not just fucking smash it together? Why not just make Destiny 3 and Marathon and Destiny, like why not just have it all be one thing?
I'm editing this out. People are gonna be so mad at you right now. That's an insane thing to say.
No, but listen, I'm not a Destiny person. I'm not coming from the perspective of like, oh, I feel bummed about this and that.
We have a good thing going here, Jake.
I'm just saying, you got all the pieces there. Just make them.
Hold on, there's irrefutable. Deimos is exactly where it's supposed to be currently in Destiny right now, in the far future. And Deimos is, unless I'm wrong, the moon that the Marathon is built into.
Yeah.
But Deimos is the moon that we land on in Taken King.
Wait, they can make this work. They can make this work. So
I gave you an out. But continue.
So Savathun is like, her move is she hollows out moons and makes war moons, which are essentially giant like Trojan horse moons that she takes into systems and so Deimos in the Destiny universe was actually taken, sent to Tau Ceti, and then Savathun, I said Savathun, I meant Shivu Wrath, excuse me, Shivu Wrath, the god of war, saw the opportunity, made a war moon, and just parked it right by Mars. And that is the Shattered Cycle. You're welcome. I'll be here all week. On a serious note, what I will say...
That's a red herring.
That's a red herring,
Not doing that. It's all Marathon. You worried about Destiny 2? It's becoming Marathon, baby.
It's Marathon all the way down.
Marathon was Destiny 3 all along. It's a new Avengers situation.
This is the last episode.
Honestly, it's Thunderbolt's new Avengers situation, where it's like you roll credits on Marathon and it's Destiny 3.
At the end of that Destroyer cinematic, when that like mechanical voice says Marathon, if you play that backwards, it says Destiny 3.
Yeah, it's Destiny 3.
That's the hint that they're dropping along the way.
Personally, I would be very surprised if there weren't some pretty overt call-outs to both Halo and Destiny in Marathon. Yeah. In the original Destiny, there was a direct Easter egg to like a cryopod you could find in the Cosmodrome that was like very heavily implied to be Master Chief. And then they always play kind of coy with it. And then the 30th anniversary event DLC happened. And it was just like, here's some compiler armor, and here's the Halo Magnum, and we took the energy sword and we broke it into two, and now you can use it. And so I would say like that's like an outlier for Bungie Easter eggs, but I would be pretty surprised if we don't see something along the lines of like the Mida mini tool. There's like, I don't think there's any way we don't get we are going to cryo, a part of the Marathon ship dedicated to storing human specimens. There's no world we don't get a Master Chief reference there. There's literally, that doesn't happen. They have to do it. You know how many original Halo people are working on this game? Like, so many.
A lot.
There's no way there isn't a Master Chief reference in there. And if we don't find one, we're just bad. They hit it. I know they hit it.
The difference, I think,
that's
the
what's
question
in Vault
is going
7.
to be...
The Chief is in Vault
100%.
7.
He just walks out.
Oh my god, yeah. You're going to open Vault 7, the compiler's going to show up, and then like a fist is going to punch through the back of it, and everyone's going to lose their shit. When it's John 117 instead. I mean, like, it's going to be the question between like Easter egg and reference, right? Is like,
yeah, they will be references.
And Bungie has been more loosey-goosey about the difference between those, I think, in the last 10 years than maybe originally. So like, because I mean, there's a world where Mida is a reference, but like you said, like it's pretty explicit or is an Easter egg, but it's pretty explicit in how much it to the point where I think it's more of a reference. But also like there are aspects of the world that don't go together. It's going to be the whole alternate like reality thing. Probably, but I mean, I don't know if I want there to be, but I just feel like if there is some reference around the anomaly in the working calendar to something related to the 9, it would not shock me. I don't think I'd
Maybe
want that, but it
perchance.
would
Like,
not shock me.
I don't think there's any. Personally, I think especially since they don't own Halo anymore, I don't think there's any chance we ever get like a real crossover. Because it would feel awful to have like here's a Marathon Destiny thing, and then like the thing that kind of made Bungie and like cemented them is just like left out because it's owned by a different studio. You know what I mean? But say Sony buys 343 or sorry Halo Studios, and then we get like an official like Marathon Halo Destiny thing. I could see that 20 years down the road, but I maybe not. I don't freaking know. All hail one company. One day Sony and Microsoft will make babies anyway, so it'll all be under the one umbrella. So yeah, this audio log was sick. Someone wrote in the notes here. I don't know if it was you, Ryan, but I agree. I do think this is like a Codex entry, and this is like a little bit.
Jake all the way.
Oh, that's Jake. There you go. Yeah, I agree. Like we know that the Codex is something in the game that kind of tracks your achievements, and then there's like real lore tidbits. It's kind of like the new Marathon version of Terminals from the original Marathon, and we haven't really. It wasn't in the alpha. I don't think, or it wasn't populated in the alpha, and they've only talked about it very briefly in vidocs and trailers. But I totally agree. Like, there's a reason there's 48 top tier voice actors working on this game, and I think it's for like this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and then there was the we don't have it here, but I saw the tweet, and maybe one of you guys would remember who it is. Someone was like, "Oh man, I hope this doesn't mean that all lore in Marathon's just going to be like just voice logs." And one of the someone that works on the game was like, "Don't worry about that. Like, there's stuff." Did either of you see this tweet?
I didn't see that tweet, but in the vidoc or the last trailer, we're seeing things that look like, I don't want to say like cutscenes, but we're seeing ships fall out of the air. Like clearly you're doing things inside the match and completing contracts that have more consequence than you're checking something off a list. You're destroying things, you're doing things.
Yeah, it read to the point of like, stuff is going to be happening in the game, in the world. I really wish I bookmarked that tweet. I feel very dumb for not doing that now.
I mean, even without that, in the alpha itself, there was very little story stuff, like very heavy story stuff. But once you got toward the end of the contracts, like you were pretty actively like encountering things in the world like around the anomaly. And I know those are technically also like audio logs, but that's still majorly different than just codex logs. Like there are situations where you go around the anomaly and start hearing voices and after interacting with things. So like we know for sure that it's not just going to be, those people aren't just going to be in codexes. Like, are we going to meet Durandal? I don't know. I don't like, is he like a physical entity in the cryo map? I doubt it, but like maybe.
Have you guys ever seen the Durandal the only picture we have of Durandal in Marathon 1? Have you guys ever seen that?
The green
I've
face?
Seen it on
his green face.
Be all right.
Oh, because it's like, isn't it? Is that one of the faces is just Jason Jones, right?
Oh, so yeah, Robert Blake. Yeah. Robert Blake in Marathon 2 is
Oh,
literally Jason Jones, and he's doing stuff like that. It's very funny. It's like and then he's like looking behind his shoulder and stuff. It's pretty good.
Man, I can't find this tweet, and I guess you can't look specifically at quote tweets anymore on Twitter, so that's cool. I think it was
you made that tweet up just to break NDA.
No, it's there.
How clever, Skarrow. No, I swear, I saw a dev tweet.
All right. Yeah, so that's gonna be cool. I'm just so excited for people. Are like, I see these takes all the time. Like, people are starting to realize how deep the lore of this universe goes, and I just can't. Yeah. I think there's just gonna be a moment where it just kind of like, oh my god, there's so much here. I'm really excited for that.
Wait, can I ask you guys as Destiny people, because in terms of like approaching it and people are onboarding right now in terms of getting invested in like the story of Marathon, like I know some of the Destiny, like trying to come in over the past year or so and play through Destiny. It's very difficult to like figure out what the fuck is
Yeah,
going on. Like
I'm
when you
sorry.
open the game,
Yeah.
it's like I'm playing missions. I'm on Mars or I'm on the moon. I don't know what's going on. Do you guys feel like obviously this is very separate, it's a separate project, but do you feel like the way they're going to use the codex is going to make the lore something that's always has like an easy jumping on point for people? Do you think that's something that they kind of recognize as a studio, that you want to be able to onboard people? Obviously with Marathon we have resets and seasonal stuff. Is that going to be a good jumping on point? Like, because I'm worried, like right now, hours of yapping about the ARG materials and the stuff before, right? Is it going to be really hard if a year from now someone wants to get into Marathon and follow the story stuff? Or do you think that codex, since it's there from day one in this capacity, is going to give them like, okay, you can read through the stuff and figure it out and parse out the information?
I have a question and an answer. So first off, are you familiar with Grimoire cards from Destiny 1?
Yeah, that's the thing that this reminds me the most of as well.
Yeah. So that was you did certain things in the game. Every time you got an exotic weapon, you killed a certain number of a certain type of enemy, you got a ghost from a map.
Yep.
Yeah. It was hosted on Bungie.net, and it was like trading cards, and you could flip them over, and they had the lore on the back of them. And it became a whole meme that the story of Destiny was hosted on Bungie.net, and it wasn't in the game. This is obviously more advanced than that, but it's very reminiscent of that system. The genuine answer I will give you is, even from the get-go, where Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 both kind of flubbed, mostly Destiny 1, but both kind of flubbed their story early on. The Marathon universe maybe plays with more complex, like, philosophical topics, but the story and the through line of the story is much simpler. Like, it's much humanity dying, go search planet, ship disappear, evil government, when Destiny started, there were 4 factions that had independent reasons to hate us, and they had their entire backstories that were crazy, and then a year in they introduced a 5th faction. So it was like, it was just insane. This is nowhere near as complex. Even if you take the old Marathon Yarrow lore and the Sphit lore, that's the equivalent of like just the Cabal in Destiny, and that's like it. So I think it's a much more approachable story.
Really, is like what we're talking about.
Yeah, effectively. And I think it's also a lot more. The world of Destiny doesn't do as much storytelling as the world of Marathon. So I think you're going to be able to kind of pick up a lot more pieces as you are experiencing things. They're obviously going for a lot more visual storytelling in both the trailers and in like gameplay. Whereas in Destiny, a lot of that ends up being like, look at this cool gun type of thing. So
yeah. The 2 things I would say about it is, I think Bungie is aware. I hope they're aware that, and I don't necessarily feel this, like, it makes me sad as a player, but I don't feel it the same way as like outside people do, that the removal of content from the game is probably the biggest mistake they ever made. And I say that because, like, if you go, like, it sucks because I want to go play all that old stuff again. I would love to be able to go play all that old stuff again. That sucks for me. I'm not saying I don't dislike it. I hate it. But it is a different level of hate when you get outside of Bungie, and that is what people know Destiny for now. Like, I can listen to a podcast where one of the co-hosts used to play the game and is talking about getting back into it, and a co-host who does not play the game at all will make an errant joke about them removing 50% of their content. That is the thing people know about Destiny 2 outside of the community. Bungie, I hope, is aware of that and the colossal mistake that it was to do that, and the damage that it did to their reputation. So I would hope that they are doing a better job, knowing that this game is probably going to have is definitely going to have like story over time, of making sure that the story is accessible from the beginning. I would agree with Skarrow that a big part of that is that the actual like plot of Marathon is much simpler.
Also, the game is like much like a lot of reason that happened in Destiny is because the game just got too big. So
yeah. The other thing about that, though, Jake, I'm sorry to tell you, I think you are a big part of the piece. of how they intend people to stay up with the game. In the same way that genuinely, My Name is Bife is, I think, sincerely a big part of Bungie's like philosophy on story to a degree. And like Bife has done more for I'm not saying Bife is on the take at all. I'm saying that's what Bife does, and he does it very well, and Bungie knows that, and I think they lean into it. And I think in the similar vein, like they intend community resources to some degree be part of the piece that helps carry story forward. I don't necessarily now. I think that's awesome for you, and I'm very happy for you as somebody who gets to chat with you every week. I don't think that's necessarily ideal for the game, but I do genuinely think that like a piece of their thinking is like, if anything has to get removed, or like as the story moves forward and it becomes more difficult to follow the original plot, that there are resources out there outside of Bungie that will help people keep up with it.
I bet we get
to be
cool,
cynical
with how much effort they're putting into cinematic storytelling already, and the game's not even out. I bet we get cool recaps at the end of seasons or something. Like
I hope
that could be a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I hope you are right.
Yeah.
I would love to live in that world. I hope that's what they're doing. I hope that's part one of my thing, which is that they're learning from it.
Yeah.
Is part one from it. That's my hope. But I don't know. From what they have done with Bungie, or with Bungie, from what Bungie has done with Destiny, I think a part of it is like hopefully learning from the past and also leaning pretty heavily on people archiving the story for them.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but that's what they've done.
The last sort of piece of marketing is we got a rumor that there's a state of play February 12th, which
yes.
I've been consistently shocked that there's not been any mention of Marathon at these things. There has to be Marathon at this thing, right?
Well, we haven't had one since Bungie went dark on Marathon. Bungie went dark. If the marketing machine was fully in going over the summer, if the game hadn't gone delayed and they wouldn't gone dark, I would 100% at the last state of play and whatever, we would have gotten a big trailer for Marathon.
Yeah.
So we have not gotten a big state of play since.
Have we ever, like, has Destiny ever shown anything at a state of play?
Mm-hmm.
The original Marathon was that
I know
a state
original.
Of play? What was that?
It was at a Sony event. I think it was
a Sony
a May
event showed the
state
first
of play,
trailer.
right?
Yeah, and that was they showed Final
the
Shape. It was the
trailer.
first Final Shape trailer led into the first Marathon trailer, like back to back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a teaser because Lightfall had just come out, like just come out.
Yeah,
and so nobody anticipated, and Sony had purchased them relatively recently, and so like nobody anticipated anything would be there. And then there was the short of Ikora. It was the reveal that Cade was coming back. It was at a Sony event, and then I think that was also when we got the Silkworm.
Yes, it was
the Silkworm trailer that was the first reveal for Marathon, and that's what led into the ARG for the
it was the first ARG,
vidoc, was it not? Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, they definitely have a precedent. I think we've gotten at least one other Marathon trailer at a Sony thing, but maybe not.
I don't
think so.
Usually there are unique, if I recall correctly, there are unique Destiny expansion trailers for Sony events, but I don't think they're ever the first thing they show, with the exception of the Final Shape. Like I think Witch Queen had one, and Lightfall had one, I think. It's hard. It's after 12 years of Destiny and a billion trailers, it's really hard to keep everything straight. But I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So yeah, hopefully we see something. I think that is, it's just like I love the internal marketing machine for Destiny, and for Bungie, and I love that they're able to maintain some of that independence. But it is just kind of undeniable that Sony has an audience that just isn't Bungie. You know what I mean? Like it's like such a wide umbrella. I think it'd be such a miss if they didn't show something. So
I think will be there. I will be shocked if it isn't. Like genuinely, I would stake pretty much anything that any amount of reputation that I may have as somebody following this industry for a long time outside of just Bungie stuff. It will be there.
We think they'll talk about
I've been burned.
free to play weekend, or do you think they're?
I think 100%.
Okay.
We talked about this last week, and that was my bet, is that there's going to be state of play. I think 100% the state of play ends with play now, free to play weekend, from, and if it's on that Thursday, the 12th that they said, I think Jeff Grubb just said it was the week of the 12th, but Thursday wouldn't surprise me. I would not. I think it's pretty likely that a trailer ends with play now, free preview weekend, February 12th through February 17th, and it ends Tuesday morning or something.
So you think at the event, like shadow drop, like you're in, fucking go crazy.
Yep. I hope so. I think that'd be sick.
I think the trailer says play now, free preview weekend. I think that's the move. So sick.
That would be a good move. Yeah.
And yeah, just like the last thing that we had was like, once again, like sales numbers. I think we kind of talked about this last week, but was climbing up the Steam charts when it went up for pre-order. Looked pretty good. And I think like the most topped at 5. You said, Ryan. I thought I saw it higher than that, but maybe not.
According to one who I heard is a marathon hater, Paul Tassi.
He's turned. Have you seen his? Today he was talking about how excited he was.
He's a hope. He's got that hopium in him now.
He's like, oh, these guys are having fun. I gotta hop on this train. Paul, I know what you're up to. No.
According to Paul, it was number 5 on Steam. Was where it kind of topped out, and then it also. I have a couple other things. I've seen multiple other screenshots and things saying that it was like top 3 in the region of PlayStation pre-orders in multiple different regions, etc. That's I'm always like pretty cautious about like Steam numbers and all that stuff. Like it tells a very small piece of the puzzle. So this does not mean that like Marathon is going to be like a huge success. What it does mean is that it's going to be more successful than, I don't know, some of the things that people like to compare it to, or like hoping that it'll be Concord 2 or whatever. Tassie specifically points out in his tweet that Concord never got inside the top 100 bestseller list on Steam.
Yeah.
And Marathon is not out yet, and it's number 5. It was. Similarly, I don't put a lot of stock in people being like, it's already dropped. It's like, of course it did. The people who wanted to pre-order it already pre-ordered it.
Yeah,
so, there's not much to say in this realm other than like we know it's going to be at least mildly successful. Or we can't even say that because we don't know what success means with internal metrics. So in the same way that we can't say something is a failure because of a certain number that hit, we also can't say that Marathon is going to be a success. We don't know what Bungie's internal success numbers are. We know that it is that it's already hit a bestsellers list briefly, and that you can probably extrapolate from that it's likely that it could probably hit it again when it actually is out and purchasable.
Yeah.
So, not a lot to actually glean from that other than like looks better than we would have hoped it would have last summer.
Yeah. With Paul, I generally have 2 litmus tests. I think he's a really good litmus test for 2 things, but in opposite directions. Paul's vibes are usually pretty good for how games end up going. And so it's like, if he's turning, it's like, okay, I like that. He follows the general discourse pretty well. Now, the flip side of this, Jake, and this is important for you specifically. If Paul believes a theory of like lore or something that's going to happen in the game, it will not happen. He has a 0% batting average for predicting what's going to happen inside of Destiny. It's every time, it's crazy. He'll refute this. He's wrong. He is always wrong on story stuff, but he's got a pretty good, typically I think he's pretty good at kind of, especially as you get closer to launch, like gauging how something's going to go. So I think it's only a good thing that you see. Yep.
Yes. With all due respect to Paul, the way that I would put that is that like Paul is constantly posting and paying attention to things, which means he's looking at where things turn and shift. I think
he's got his finger on the pulse.
I think we're saying the same thing here, to be clear. But like, I think if you want to look back at it and be like, because there are people who will hear what you say and be like, well, didn't he write a thing about how Marathon, he just can't see a future for the game? Like, yeah, but I would argue that's because that's where things looked at the time. I still don't agree with writing something like that so early in advance when you don't know what's happening. Personally, that's not what I would do, but that's how he uses things and uses his platform, which is totally fair and his choice. But what I would say is like, I think it's the thing that I would be cautious about is narrowing that to being like, Paul's very good at the current conversation.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I would not put it on saying predictive in a way of like where the game goes. It's more of like where like Paul's following the line which he's good at doing. And so if Paul is becoming more hopeful, that is a good sign. But you have to kind of then like remove the back stuff that was much more doomer in the past. I think Astacross does something similar on like the YouTube front. It's like if things are going well, usually we're talking about it in a way of like it's going well. But if we're talking about like predictive articles, predictive videos about whether you know, there are realities where if you were taking predictions from people like that, then Destiny would have been shut down a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's much more about where things are currently at that you have to pay attention to people like Paul who are doing that kind of analysis, and not so much of like how things are going to be a year from now.
What I'm hearing from this entire conversation, based off of everyone mentioned, is Marathon firmly has the dad market. Like really hard right now. They're all very excited for the game.
Yeah, the dads are pumped. Jake and I we're frothing at the mouth.
I'm locked in. We should get. I'm thinking we should get right here, like above us. We should do like a stock ticker, and it should have all of the online personalities, Paul, and it's just like a red or green line depending on what they're thinking.
That's pretty good. We could invest in the inverse Grums ticker. And like, you know, it's like
man, you were just determined to make sure this is the final episode of this show. Grum's mentioned.
Oh goodness. Yeah, so stuff is like people are at least warming up to it, getting excited for the marketing, and it seems like a lot of people are going to give it a chance, which I think is pretty exciting. I think the free-to-play weekend is going to be huge, and I'm just really like I even though it's a very difficult and hardcore type of game, I think there is just so much here that I hope pulls people in. So yeah, I'm curious. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Just for like they were also recording this the week that Highguard came out, which I don't think there's necessarily much to really talk about around that, but it's all been part of the same conversation, so it's worth looking at. Like even something like Highguard, which people had not turned on at all. Like no one going into Highguard was like pumped about it.
Yeah.
Now it was free, but it hit a ridiculously high number for like a brief period.
Yeah.
On its Steam concurrence, and then it moved down pretty significantly, pretty quickly. But if Marathon has a free, what that says to me, if anything, when I try to be very careful about what data actually tells us. And what that tells me is that a weekend where Marathon is free is going to get a lot of people to put their eyes on it. You're going to get a lot of people who want to jump in and be like, what is this thing about? Even people who hate the game. The game already has a lot of people who are excited about it, but like Highguard, the game already has a lot of haters. And if Highguard teaches us anything, it's that even the haters will jump in if something is free for a small period of time.
Yeah.
So that is going to be like the most important weekend. Like if you're excited about Marathon already, that's the weekend to get anxious. Is going to be like what is the discourse after that? Personally, from what I have played back in the April playtest, I think the game will latch people a lot harder than Highguard got me in those opening 2 hours. But it's going to be interesting to see.
Yep, I agree. I'm excited. All right, Marathon Minute time. This is should I introduce
it's Marathon Minute.
Yeah, it's Marathon Minute. If you don't know, you don't know. It's Ryan has a topic. Jake has to explain it in a minute. And last week we talked about shit. We found out January 6th happened in Marathon first last week.
Yeah.
All right.
We were talking about Mida, and then okay. Yeah. I mean. Okay, we talked a little bit about the origins of it briefly with talking about Demos and everything, but I guess it also ties in a little bit to our subject last time with Mida. But I know Marathon goes heavily into this because I have played at least one of the levels that talks about the initial creation of it. I want you to in a minute tell us everything we need to know about the origins of the Marathon ship itself.
Okay, the Marathon ship. Okay.
The building and sending. Okay. Why is it here, and what was it originally for?
Do you need a second, or are you ready? That's a big one.
This is all the numbers they're going on Zach Galifianakis style right now. Okay,
don't forget Bernard Strauss.
Right.
That's important. Okay, ready?
Through the Matrix.
And go.
Okay, $23.95, I believe. The Martian moon Deimos is bought from freeholders. So now the people of Midas, their moon now belongs to the UESC, and they're going to convert it into a spacecraft that needs to travel 300 years away on the first extrasolar colony mission. Okay, so who do they bring in to help build this wonderful spacecraft? I don't know. How about people who are already very great at it? In comes Traxxas. Traxxas is now having to deal with Mida or the Martians who are upset about their moon getting stolen. And so they make a deal with Mida and they go, hey, we'll give you a replacement for the Christ solar orbiters that are bringing your resources. They create the Traxxas solar orbiters. They bring the resources. Everybody's happy. Crisis averted. Skip the January 6th thing. Now the moon, now the marathon converted, launches. Bernard Strauss is on there, first science director. All the 3 ship AI, the 8 colony AI, they go 300 years in the future, 2794, there's a colony. And then now we're doing the new game.
Skipped a couple steps, but not bad.
We made it
So-
in the end.
For big question for a minute, that's not bad. And we got more January 6th in there for the algorithm, so that's great.
So now I'm realizing they purchased the moon, right? So is there a world where we take Greenland and we turn it into an
Shut it down. Shut it down. Oh my god.
Now hold on a second. I wasn't convinced. But if I can get on Greenland and I can go somewhere else.
That's the national security we need.
I think perhaps Marcus Tiberius Windia, president UESC, might be into that possibly.
Marcus, what's his middle name?
Tiberius Windia. He gave
This guy
a
sounds
speech
like a
right before.
prick, dude.
He's the president of the UESC, so they're probably up to some not so friendly stuff.
Maybe never mind. I'm not
Okay, buddy.
I'm just looking forward to all hopefully of getting fan art of the marathon sticking out of Greenland at this point is like the most for this.
So I think
episode. And
I think there's an important.
That'll be your fault.
Yeah, well, my pleasure. I think there's one important thing that Jake didn't get to. What is in? I'll allow 30 extra seconds. What was the purpose of the marathon ship? Why did they want to send it?
They wanted to establish the first human extrasolar colony. They wanted to expand out into the cosmos, pave the way for the people.
Why would you do that if everywhere is like really poor and dying?
Well, was everywhere really poor and dying, or just Mars? Is it really? You get what I'm saying?
I believe in a Mars-centric solar system, personally.
A Mars-centric solar system.
Why would the rich continue to explore outwards?
Dude, that guy in the comments is gonna call us out again, Ryan. Stop it!
It's an interesting question. It's interesting. I'm not talking about our politics. I'm not talking about reality. We're talking about marathon.
This guy's a Midas sympathetic.
Which people
all hail Arachne.
Jeff Bezos has never been to space.
That's not real world analog for Arachne like Scientology then? Is that like where we're tying it in?
I don't think they do enough skin stuff.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you have to get to a higher level, I think, before
Tom
that.
Cruise looks real young, man. I don't know. He's not aged. So I don't think we can say that definitively.
Dude, we can't have the Tom Cruise stands coming after our podcast too. This has been diabolical.
I like Tom Cruise.
It's episode 3. You just accused him of skinning people and using their skin.
I honestly, I heard it as a compliment to Skarrow. I think Tom Cruise would love to have your skin, Skarrow. You got great.
This was supposed to be a short episode, and we're
wrote that note.
Tom Cruise? No, it was up way too high on the door. There's no way. A guy who is at least 5 feet tall put this on my door.
Yeah. Skarrow, taller than you think. That's in my experience. Skarrow, taller than you think.
I get that a surprising amount. I get, wow, you're a big human, quite a bit. So,
you're easy to spot on Bungie trips, for sure.
Let's go. Alrighty.
We lose the group. It's like there he is.
Look for the tall guy with the long hair. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're the
that's
extraction beacon of people.
okay. I'll take it. Okay, that's fine. Good episode, fellas. Anything else? We good?
No.
No, I'm
Cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Yep.
streaming the marathon games in the next couple weeks here.
Yeah,
But
I think I'm gonna do that at some point as well because I never have. So I want to.
Oh, if you guys want to see someone fucking just go crazy on the original Marathon Trilogy, TBCR and Aperture Grills, incredible speedrunners. They have GD Games Done
Oh,
Quick.
man.
They have a Games Done Quick speed run. It's fantastic. If you guys are looking for the strats, there's a few spots you're gonna get stuck in. They're annoying as fuck. Colony ship for sale. G4 subbathing a little bit. Maybe just give it a little peeksy. See how they can do it in a few seconds.
Okay.
I'll watch that after I'm done to really just feel bad about myself. That seems like the most healthy way to do things.
All right, subscribe to me and Jake. Links down below. Go leave a review, 5 stars on Spotify and Apple and the other one. What's the other one? Amazon.
Friendster. MySpace.
Amazon. Check out rogue.site, my website where I also
Yeah,
post
yes.
about the podcast. Cool.
Do that. Tell us if Greenland was made into a colony ship, would Marathon be sticking out of it or would it go through it? Let us know down in the comment section below. Yeah,
Tag
hell
us
yeah.
in your art.
Yeah, yes, fan art. More tomato fan art too. It's been pretty fun. Cool. Escape Will Make Us Pod, episode 3. Hell yeah. See ya next week.